Does Brock Purdy hold back the wide receivers? This is an interesting little wrinkle. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk is on pace for like 1,400 yards, and he gets a lot of targets and a lot of catches, but he doesn't have that many touchdowns, as Larry Krueger pointed out. He only has 2 this year. And Larry Krueger made it seem like that's a failing of Brandon Ayuk, but if you actually look at Brock Purdy's history, he really never threw a bunch of touchdown passes to a wide receiver in college. And last year, like, he didn't throw a bunch of wide touchdown passes to Ayuk. Ayuk had 8 TDs last year, and only 2 came from Purdy. This year, he has 2 touchdown catches from Purdy. And so that's 4 touchdowns to Ayuk since, and that's including the playoffs. Debo has 1 receiving touchdown since Purdy took over, including the playoffs. Juwan Jennings has 0 touchdowns since Purdy took over, including the playoffs. Purdy has 12 touchdown passes here, and 8 are to backs and tight ends. I mean, that's very like Alex Smithian, if you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. I'm just saying.
What's interesting to me is Brandon Ayuk only has 3 red zone targets, not near the end zone. Just when they're inside the 20, he's been targeted 3 times. I don't think
you got to look at Brock on that one.
Yeah.
You got to look at Brock on that one.
Yes. Yeah, kind of. But also I look at Shanahan's offense. Remember, he's the one that built all of these guys to be certain types of players. Even Debo, who is a wide receiver, is more of a running back, really. He catches the ball near the line of scrimmage on a regular basis. He does run from the backfield. It seems like he built this team to take advantage of bad linebacking cores throughout the NFL, because there's not very many good ones throughout the NFL. Maybe 3 or 4, and the 49ers have one of them. So that means chances are week in and week out, you're not playing against great linebackers. And that's how he's built this team. Tight ends, running backs, and Debo, who's essentially a running back himself. That's just the way the team's built. So, you know, you can put Brandon Ayuk out there, but he's also not going to be the guy that goes up and gets it in the corner of the end zone if you throw fade routes to him. It's just, we can say what we want about Brock, but first of all, the 49ers haven't been great in the red zone, period. This year is the best they've been in a long time as far as scoring touchdowns in the red zone. A lot of that is due to CMC. I understand that. But red zone issues have been present before Brock. So I can't necessarily put it on Brock. I would say that's a Kyle thing.
Yeah. But if it's a Brock thing, then maybe you should think about that before giving like $20 million a year to Brandon Ayuk. Because if Brock's like a good quarterback who just happens to use tight ends and running backs more in the red zone, then maybe don't give another $20 million wide receiver contract. I mean, you already got one guy making $24 million a year who's a running back, according to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Now you want to do it again, and this is a quarterback who leans heavily on his backs and tight ends. Maybe not. I'm just saying. I'm actually in favor of trading Brandon Ayuk. Hell of a player, but maybe not going to reach his full potential on this team, and maybe never will be truly elite. And yet he's going to make $22 million a year. Go do that in a tax-free state and go get your paper, baby, but like not here.
Yeah, I don't know, but then
go to Houston with D'Amico. Because Houston,
most of the explosive plays are coming from Brandon Ayuk. So if you remove him from this offense, where do the explosive plays come from?
You trade him for a pick, a first-round pick, and then draft a wide receiver. You'd have to get that pick right.
Yeah.
Minnesota did that when they got Justin Jefferson, but other teams.
I have a feeling that both of them will probably be here next year, and I say both of them, Debo and Ayuk, and then the year after they'll have to make a decision. Just because that's the way it is when you extend a player. I think the move is to get rid of Debo if you're choosing.
It's just hard because getting rid of Debo comes with like a $30 million dead cap hit, whereas trading Ayuk
post-June, though, it doesn't. It's only a $6 million hit. So the next 3 years post-June, they have outs on Debo.
Post-June, doesn't that spread it out over 2 years, though? Like when you get a hit the following year? I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, it does. You basically spread it out over 2 years, but it's not, 6 million versus 30.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.